Yeah.
So on my side, it cuts off right about here. And even though it may show the top of your head on your side, if you could just tilt it up a tad more,
Okay.
yeah, then
Yeah,
we're
yeah, that's fine.
perfect.
Let's do it. Is that good?
That's perfect.
You see my entire bald head?
Yeah, we got to make sure we see the whole bald head.
Lights are hitting it. Yeah.
That's a nice looking basement you're in there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. It
Masonry
just
wall.
got cleaned recently. My wife was just decided she wanted to move a bunch of stuff, so we did that, and it was a mess before, but now it's looking a little better.
So now you got a new bat cave.
Yeah, right. You can. It's very basementy wood. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
You
hey, it's nice to meet you. I'm Stefan.
too, man. Andy,
Yeah, yeah,
thanks for reaching out, and having me on. I appreciate it.
yeah, for sure, dude. I'm always happy to get a guest on. I haven't been doing many solo podcasts lately because I've had a lot of guests coming on, but
Okay.
yeah, I'm excited, man. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I came across you from like some of your. Wait, before we start, are you good to go? Do you have any questions or anything like that?
No. How's
Okay.
that?
Well, on my end,
You're upside down now,
I
man.
almost
I'm
had a
just gonna.
picture of it.
You want to take a picture of it? Fine.
Hold on. Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. My flash is on. Sorry, just a sec.
Oh no, you're good.
I find this so funny. How is it? How does it look?
I'll put it sideways. That's why I wanted to do it on the computer, but like
Yeah.
I just got this MacBook. I never really.
No problem,
logged on to
man.
it. Okay, let me just. We'll do it sideways. That'll be the best way. How's that?
Well,
Framing?
well, you are sideways. I mean, then I'll be talking to you
Now
sideways
you're sideways. Okay.
because I can. I can
I think
see
it's
it.
gonna be okay, and I'll just keep the charger there
Okay,
just in case. And
sounds
then
good. Yeah,
that works for you. Okay, now you're upright. You look normal. Okay.
perfect.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
No, I'm
Now we
here
get
for
that
it,
out of the
man.
way, huh?
I'm here for it. There's got to be a first for everything, so it's all good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right on.
All right. So you don't have any questions. You're not afraid of anything. You're all good.
All good, man.
Nice. Okay. All right. So we're gonna start now. You good to start?
Yep.
It's just meant to be a free flowing conversation, and I'll ask you about your stuff. And I don't know.
Sure, man.
Have you ever seen a podcast before?
Yeah, yeah. I've been on them. I've
Which
done.
ones
They're
have you
fun.
been on?
They're not. They're. You know what? I'm sure you're aware. The market is. There's a lot of them out there. So like just a couple local ones. My friend used to have one called "Hate This Podcast" that I would go on a little
Yeah.
bit. My friend
There's so
Todd.
many dudes who start podcasts and name them something extremely pessimistic. Like, guys, it's like the Friendless podcast, the fucking
Yeah.
Bugs and Idiot podcast. It's like, be nice to yourself already, for fuck's sakes. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna start off on that foot. Nobody's gonna listen to you anyway.
I started one with my buddy. It was like we would do like sports story because we were both sports fans. We were both into comedy, so we would do we'd take like historical sports stories. Like we did an OJ one, obviously, and then we did Mike Tyson. We recorded some, and then we just kind of we both ran out of time to do it. So we have a couple stacked up, and we want to get back. I'm always telling them. Like when I see a funny sports story, I'm like, dude, we gotta talk about this as soon as we start back up. So
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Yeah.
But you don't have to like. A lot of times, a person will like cling to whatever excuse they can get. Like, oh, he doesn't have the
Sure.
time, or I can't get the right partner. You can just do it. You know what I'm saying? And
I know, yeah.
yeah, I'm always
I
trying to
hear ya.
convince people to start podcasts. But there's always a reason. There's always it's always I don't have enough time, or we ran out of things to talk about, so we gave up, or
No,
whatever.
it's more honestly, uh, he had more of the response because he asked me to be on it, and he's like, I'll do all the sound editing and all that, and like I just think he was like maybe bit off a little more than he could chew
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah,
'Cause,
the editing can sometimes be. I can just say from my own experience, the editing can sometimes be quite a headache.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, I'm not really big into audio editing.
Yeah.
But like I've done video editing and stuff like that, and my friend's really good at audio editing. He said the same thing, that could be a big pain in the ass with podcasts.
Yeah, well, the thing is if you're doing a podcast that's like a real style one, there really isn't much editing to it. But the thing is is because it's so long. You and there's always something where it's like, "Oh, I got to go back and just cut out that little part or that little part." So
Oh
then you end up
yeah.
having to watch the whole, 2 hours of the podcast. So you may not be
Yeah,
looking the whole time. It might
that would
not be
drive me
like,
kind of nuts, man, because there's always going to be some
yeah,
downtime.
yeah, like it's not laborious like maybe some other editing stuff, but you do have to sit there and go through it and make sure that there's no part where everything's screwed up, or the audio didn't screw up at some other
Right.
point.
Yeah, the quality of the audio too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually ends up being, we won't get too technical here, but like, yeah, that's what always ends up being the trick is audio synchronizing, like getting the audio to properly match the video. In long ass videos where you're connecting multiple pieces is actually much more of a headache than you'd ever
Is it
believe.
really? Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's probably the
Oh, because
worst
you're
part.
recording audio separate, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You bet,
Yeah.
man. Well, okay, everybody. Thank you for coming back to another episode of the podcast. We have a guest today, Andy Kuhn, stand-up comedian. You can find him on Instagram and YouTube at Kuhn Daddio, and at his website, andykuhncomedy.com. Uh, so I know now I'm going to be canceled probably in like 2040 when your name becomes like an official racial slur. That's probably why you became a comedian, isn't it? It's like,
Dude,
I know it's not spelled the right way, but like it is the
no, I
sound.
know. I get introduced a lot
Yeah.
as like people are like, oh, I can't see, he can't say his own last name. It's I think it's
Yeah.
hilarious. I don't have a lot of jokes about it. I've tried a few. They haven't worked out really that well. But sometimes I'll acknowledge it on stage, or the host will acknowledge it. My friend Kai always acknowledges it when
Yeah.
she brings me on stage. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
How do you not become a stand-up comedian with a name like that? Hey, I tell
dude,
you.
I know, I
Yeah.
know.
So,
It's
I'm not sure. I was going to ask you, but I forgot. You seem to host a show at the Funny Bone Syracuse quite often. Is that your main gig that you like kind of run
Oh
or?
no, it's not. I don't host a show there. I host there. I'm a regular at that place and at Comedy at the Carlson in Rochester, New York.
Rochester?
So two really cool clubs. Funny Bone's obviously a chain. Carlson's a lone standing club. That's my home. I'm from Rochester. That's my home club.
Cool. Yeah, no, I can kind
But
of hear the accent now, where like,
right, yeah,
yeah,
everyone
yeah,
said, yeah.
yeah,
Some people, my college friends, used to say I sounded Canadian. Actually, like
yeah,
I don't to you because you sound Canadian to me.
yeah.
But like, they would be
No,
like, "Yeah, you
maybe
sound
we
like
are
you're from
similar
Canada,"
for
because
sure.
like we're right by the border. So
For sure.
yeah,
Yeah, the more north you go, you just start kind of talking like this. They just say, what do you want?
right, yeah.
But yeah, no, that was one of the first things that I saw you online, and I was like, man, I love that he didn't change his name for the stage. That you kind of like stuck to that name, and I was like, that's ballsy. This guy's he's getting after it. That was my first
Oh
thought on
man,
that. But yeah, thanks for coming on the show today. And
yeah, of course.
all right, well, yeah, we're happy.
Yeah, dude, I've thought about it. I've thought about like I wasn't aware, that my name was a racial slur until like, everyone already knew me as that. And all my friends, they weren't aware of it either. Like it got to be like, like close to my teen years, then I realized that I was already Andy Kuhn, Like I was it's
Yeah,
just how everyone knew me. It wasn't like and then it was like, it's too late now. And I didn't realize how well known the slur was.
yeah.
And now I do. And actually my son has his mother's last name. That's partly the reason.
No
So
way. Oh, that.
yeah,
That makes me sad a little bit. I did.
yeah. And my brother has two daughters, so that name is going to die in society, which it probably should, in all honesty.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
no.
maybe I don't know. No, but really, I'm just playing like racial slur bingo, and I'm because we've got all the other ones that have been said on the show, so we're just trying to get this one just so I can mark it off on the bingo card.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Um,
this has never been used. Yeah, this is a good way to. Is that why you had me on so you could get
Literally, dude, that's what I'm kidding. You're
that?
only on for that reason. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
Nice.
so, how long? How long have you been doing stand-up comedy?
It's gonna be 10 years in October. So
Nice. Holy
yeah,
shit.
man. I still
So,
feel like I'm new, kind of, but not really. I'm kind of disillusioned to a lot of it.
yeah, I mean, I don't like guys who fall into that rabbit hole too much where they're kind of like, oh, I'm still working at it. I'm not good at it yet. It's like, well, honestly, man, fucking quit then. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a natural aspect to it. And it's like there's people that have been doing it 2 or 3 years where it's like they're amazing. You can't tell them they need to keep learning. You know what I'm saying? Sure, maybe to do a diverse show over here or over there, but if they're just doing what they want to do, their version of comedy, like somebody like maybe like Bobby Lee would be comes to my mind, where somebody, sure, you could look at him and go, he's not even fucking doing stand-up comedy. He's just being an idiot. You know what I mean? And getting naked on stage or whatever. But it's that's what he does, and that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? And it works for some crowds, and doesn't work for others. And you mix them with somebody who's more generally like good, like the Santino or whatever those guys are doing these days,
Mhm.
and that is smart. You don't need to be constantly like I know I feel like Rogan is really who kind of started that, and there's good to it, and there's also like it feels a little bit gatekeepery. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like, are you saying Rogan started? I gotta say though, first of all, I think with me, it's just a helpful mentality. Not to think you suck, but just to think like I got a long way to go. Like I can get a lot better at this, and just to like encourage me to put the work in. Because like it's no matter how good you are, you can always get. There's always room to get better for sure. Is what I believe.
Yeah,
Even the best guys. I mean, there's guys I watch that they're freaking genius, But
yeah,
like I for me, it just. I feel like even if I got to that point, I don't know though. You change throughout time. Maybe if I got to that point, I'd think I don't need to fucking learn anything. I don't
yeah,
really
yeah.
know one way or the other. But
It's
it
hard to
just like
say.
I
Yeah,
need to think I need to tell myself that I got to grind. I can't pat myself on the back or anything like that. I got a long way to go, but I hear you. What were you saying that Rogan started though?
for sure. Yeah, I was just kind of talking about how like I understand what you're saying. How it's like you always feel like you can write more, and then you can
Yeah,
always keep reaching for like, oh, what's that next thing I'm going to talk about? What's that? But it's like sometimes also I ask myself like, what's more important, the passion behind what you're saying, because you can say nothing like nothing really that's that special, and it can be amazing if you say it with the right passion, versus
right.
something that's really well written, like a joke that can just be said by anybody and it's funny, even somebody who doesn't know how to properly deliver it. and
Yeah.
uh and then what I was saying was that, yeah, Rogan, I feel like he kind of started that gatekeepery kind of feeling where it's like, if you're not putting in the reps, you can't be a stand-up comedian. I mean, tell that to fucking Charlie Day. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy. He's that funny
No, I know
little.
Charlie. That was like my favorite show. It still is. I just haven't been watching it the last few seasons.
Bingo,
I love
bingo.
Charlie Day. I don't know. I've never seen the stand up
No, he
though.
doesn't
Like,
do it. He doesn't do it.
right.
But he's been up on stage sometimes, and the guy's
Sure.
fucking hilarious. So
Yeah, he's great. He's great. I do think and this is something I come across a lot, is there's a big difference between improv and character acting, comedy acting, and doing stand up comedy. And they don't always, a lot of times they don't. If you're good at one, you're not necessarily good at the other. I think, like I don't, my comfort zone was joke writing when I started, and like I went up there, and it's like what I would I would say my jokes, and I still believe that's the center of comedy is writing the jokes and all that. But there's something to just be, it's an art form where like you can art form. I don't want to say art form, but like it's a craft where I just went to a live show last night. I saw Joe List live, right? And he was hilarious. And it's like there's just something about being in a live performance where you need to kind of break down the fourth wall sometimes. And so like a couple of years ago, I was talking to my buddy. He's like, who really was a great joke writer, and he got very good at crowd work. And I'm like, and a lot of people shit on it. And my personal belief is a lot of people shit on it because they don't feel like putting the work in to get good at it. And
well,
like I kind of,
sorry,
what were you
one quick
saying?
thing I'll just say, but remember what you're going to say. That's great, Rand. It's like crowd work is an amazing thing, but it's crowd work feels a lot like surfing, where it's like once you get up on the surfboard, it's like, okay, and you just kind of you hit some waves, but it's hard to get really good at surfing because you're stuck with the same kind of waves, and with crowd work, it's so easy to just reach for those like little ones like fucking Matt Rife and just be like, hey, what do you do?
Oh no.
And but
Well,
like, no, what I'm
yeah,
saying
right.
though is that like crowd work is amazing if you can just find a way to get to those bigger waves and talk to the crowd about stuff that isn't just like, hey, what do you do for work? Like
Sure.
Fuck
No, I
being.
agree. A lot of it's hacky for sure. And I think the way I look at it more is as a joke writer, I look at it more like sometimes audiences don't want to hear material. Like it doesn't matter if you're giving them your best shit up there, doing everything. Sometimes the only way to win an audience over sometimes, unfortunately, is to engage them. And like I use it if like they're not, I have jokes where I'm like, okay, I know they should, most people laugh at that. They're not going to laugh at that. But like then sometimes you engage them, you get them a little more involved. Then you go back to material. They're more involved in your material. Like they just want to be addressed.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, I agree. It's what I'm not like ardently against crowd work by any means, but yeah, I think some people lean on it, and you're not going to hit it out of the park every time with crowd work. It's you raise your percentage with it the more you practice it, but like it's you never know what the audience is going to be into or
yeah.
what the answers are going to be.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I definitely watching your clips and things that I've seen online, like your YouTube and all of that. I can tell you that you're definitely a good joke writer. Like,
Oh,
my
thanks, man.
God, that
Appreciate
one where it's like, I'd rather pee inside of a. I'm at the age where I'd
it.
rather pee inside of a woman than come inside her. I
Oh
fucking,
my
I
god.
love that one.
I'm glad you like it because
Yeah.
that's freaking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy on stage before me had an awful set, and he was just talking about he went off the rails talking about like coming and peeing and shit. I was like, I got to talk about this. It's something.
Yeah.
Just
Man.
I can't just leave that hanging out there without
Yeah.
addressing it.
Yeah. You have some freaking cool pictures on social media with lots of like famous people. I imagine they come
Oh,
through
thanks.
Rochester, and that's how you get your
Yeah,
photos,
yeah,
or
that,
you
yeah,
work with them, you middle for them, or something like that. Like,
yeah.
do
Like
you have a favorite like person right now that like you can have your favorite all time? So whatever Norm Macdonald or whatever. I'm curious who
I
that is
love
for you,
Norm, dude.
and then I'm curious,
I mean,
and then I'm
I
curious.
like Norm. I like Norm. Like I've told people, like he may not be the best stand up of all time, but I think he's the funniest guy of all time.
Yeah,
If you just look at his work as like his late night appearances where he just goes off script, and the podcast he had where he just
yeah.
has the jokes, he pulls them out and he's reading
Well,
them.
exactly. But
Yeah.
honestly, people who watch stand up, that's the thing, is that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that guy. That's the thing. And
Yeah.
sometimes you end up not finding him. You find these different people that are able to make it in that world, but they're not the guy you're looking for. Like Norm Macdonald is the guy we're all looking for. That guy who is just naturally funny when he talks. And if I could pat myself a little, honestly, I think that podcasts are very good for that, with like training you to be like that. I don't know how Norm got, like, I mean, probably just with hanging out with buddies, but I don't know how he ever trained that muscle to such an extent and was so far ahead of everybody else in his time. I have no idea. But so anyway, aside from him, so he would probably be a top of the mountain type guy. And then what about like some people that you've met, or who's like your favorite person that you've worked with? If you don't mind me, I don't want to make you put them in order or anything, but like if you had to pick a favorite person you met, like I saw you met Adam Friedland. You have a picture with Jordan
Adam's
Jensen.
very cool. I really liked Adam. You know what? I really liked. Let me think.
Yeah,
There's been a
think about it.
couple people I worked with who I haven't liked, but vast majority
Oh,
have
talk
been
about that.
cool. And some of them have been really cool. Like Bobby Kelly is a very, very cool guy.
Robert.
Uh, Shane Gillis was a fun guy. I got to work with him right before he blew up. Like it
Oh, that's
was
amazing.
he did 5 shows at the Carlson. He didn't sell. None of them sold out, but he basically ran his first special at the club like a week before it came, like a couple weeks before it came out,
Yeah,
and he just tore the roof off the place every night. My
yeah.
friend, I actually hosted that. My friend featured, and like we all did really, really well. That was like the funnest weekend I've ever had. But tons of people that I've worked with have been really, really cool. Yeah, Adam. Uh, actually, yeah. I don't want to
Is
put too
Jordan
many out
Jensen
there, but
is Jordan Jensen funny in person? Did you get a chance to talk
oh
with
my
her?
god, oh Jordan, oh dude, she is great. I'm trying to work with her again when she
Yeah,
comes to the club.
she's probably my
You know,
favorite female comedian right now.
she's yeah, I hosted for her in Syracuse, and then I went out. I'm like, I'm watching her whole set. Like I really want to see this, and my jaw was hurting because I could not stop laughing at her.
Yeah,
She's very, very, very good.
she's
So
so good at making whether she writes or I know she's good at improv too, because like I saw her on Stand Up on the Spot there with Jeremiah Watkins. She did really good. So I know she's good at improv, but her recited stuff, like her as a stand-up, I love how she's so good at making it her own and making it seem like she's not just saying something she's said 100 times. You know, she's so good at
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm curious.
She has a really unique style.
Yeah,
Very, she's
well,
got her own thing.
of course. I mean, I think it's a style that it's kind of like you wouldn't do that style unless you're committing your entire life to comedy. Like you're not going to be talking about your prison sentences and whatever other crazy stuff on stage like how she does, unless you're like, hey, I would literally be a joke if I did any other type of profession after this because of
Oh
what I
well,
say on stage.
well, you know what? When people, including myself, I don't ever mix my comedy with my day job. Like I have a
Yeah,
day
no,
job,
that's on my list.
and
I
like
really,
tons of people
what is your day
have day
job?
jobs, and it's like, dude, it's weird because you got to push content, you got to put it
Mhm.
out there online,
Yeah,
but it's like
without
it's more
saying
like
any
it
like
makes
names, really, if I could just quickly jump in. Sorry, this is video
yeah.
podcasting. I got to
Oh,
jump
it's
in.
so cool.
Um, without saying your company name or any kind of crazy shit like that, but like, what kind of jobs have you had throughout your life? What's your day job now, and what got you into doing comedy?
I do social work now, and for years I did a lot of jobs where wouldn't really give a shit, like landscaping and all that. But
Dude, can I
like I
just say
said,
something real quick? I just
sure.
want to say that thank you for what you do. Like stand up comedy is
Oh,
already
thanks,
such a you obviously have a good personality. That's why you're doing stand up or whatever. But like
thanks, dude.
to do social work too, I mean, that's amazing, man. I was gonna say I'd never even
I
thought of it. But the
appreciate it.
only thing that's like nicer to do with a good personality than like going out making people laugh is probably social work. That's probably the only other. And there you go. That's what you fucking do.
It's
I'm
it's
surprised
like,
you're
you
not a
know
police
what?
officer.
As like a comedian, I mean, as a comedian, like you get this feeling when you're doing it. I've had feelings at jobs that I've had for a brief period of time where I'm like, what am I fucking doing this for? Like I'm just doing this only for a paycheck, and they're not even paying me that well. And the great thing about doing social work, and it sounds fucking cheesy. I don't want to ever talk about it, but it's like you feel good at the end of the day about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, I wasn't just working to make the company money. I was working to help people. So like that does feel good for sure. But yeah, thanks for acknowledging that. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
definitely, Matt. And what other jobs did you have growing up? And then what got you into comedy to kind of do the two things at once and everything you're doing nowadays?
Worked at a car wash in high school. I did worked at a pizza shop. I did landscaping for a long time. And I guess, when I was always just like I went off to college, I kind of became like you know, it's I was like, I like doing like writing and stuff like that. I'm like, I especially like writing comedy. And I was always kind of a funny guy,
Oh yeah,
So I was
went to
like,
college and you became gay.
I
I'm just
mean,
kidding.
that's what it's for,
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, I did. I did money. I took out student loans to discover that I'm a big fucking homo, I guess.
Oh my god, hell yeah, dude,
but,
that's hilarious.
but
All right,
that's, yeah,
yeah,
good.
okay. So
That,
landscaper, that's training the hard work ethic and all that kind of shit.
yeah.
And then what got you to take the plunge into comedy?
Oh man, my life was awful because like I was a drug addict too. So like I I got to the point with drug use where like my friend did it like a year before I started actually, and she's like, "Can you help me write?" And I like did the process of writing with her. I went and saw her at an open mic do it. I'm like, "This is really cool," but I don't have the balls to do it.
Yeah,
And like then I got to the point where I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fucking something's gotta go different for me, man. I gotta like just I
wow.
started writing jokes. I'm like, I'll never tell these. And then I'm like, I'm gonna go to an open mic, and I went to the open mic. All my friends came and they supported me and they laughed at my jokes, which was great. Then I bombed a few times and I'm like, I don't know, man, I might quit because it wasn't as good as the so like there was like a month and a half where I stopped doing it. Then I started back up again and never looked back. Like
Yeah, so you had a bomb so bad that it took you off the game for about a month.
yeah, well, yeah. That's pretty much what it was.
Oh man.
It's a good experience though, dude. I think bombing I think it's
Yeah.
good to bomb
Yeah.
early.
Yeah,
because you're like, you're in it for the right reasons. Because you're
yeah. It
like,
just
I'm not
depends.
in it to just do good. I'm in it because I like it. It
Yeah,
felt like shit when I bombed. I'm gonna try to do better next time.
for sure, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that can be right. That's the thing with it, podcasting that's so nice, but it also depends on how you gauge it because it's great that you don't have to bomb in front of a bunch of people when you make a shitty podcast. Like I've made some solo podcasts where I go back and I watch it and I'm like, I feel the same as when I'm in front of 100 or 200 people sucking. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, it's just two different feelings, but either way, yeah, when you get that feeling, it is a good feeling. It really makes you not you strive to not be that ever again. You know what I'm saying?
I admire that you do it like a solo
Oh,
podcast, man. It's a lot of time to
it's
fill,
almost
and
worth.
like I feel like if I were doing it, I'd be constantly second guessing myself. That's why it's good that you go back and review the stuff because you see like, oh, I didn't like that. So that's how I am with my. I don't watch every set that I have, but I film every set, so it's there. I go back and I review them. I'm like, I find little shit I don't like. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
first of all, it's hard to get over like not wanting to watch yourself. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone likes how they look or sound when they watch when they
No, it's
review the
the worst
shit.
thing ever, dude. And editing, when
Yeah.
you have to edit your own podcast, it has been a personal trip through hell that I've put myself through to like have to watch myself do that kind of stuff. But, man, it is nice to stop saying and to teach yourself to stop saying and ah and fucking saying. But you know what it does though? The better that you get at speaking, and this is going to come off so arrogant, okay? So I just want to apologize
No,
before I even say this, but it's like being like math or sports or something, how you can't play hockey against people who aren't as good as you or whatever. You start to
yeah.
train your ability to speak, and then you're around somebody who doesn't know how to fucking speak, and they're just a professional ear beater. And it's like,
Yeah.
would you shut the fuck up? Like, oh my God. That's the only hard part is the more you train yourself to be good at talking, there's more and more people that to add to the list of, hey, I don't really want to talk to you.
Well, you know what I get. I understand. I understand that, like, I get on stage and I talk, but like, who I get what I get annoyed with is when people have no word economy.
Yeah,
Like really just long-winded shit, and
yeah,
and like I understand, dude, it happened, but like come on. I always feel like I got to be, even if I don't, I'm like, come on, dude, this
for
guy's
sure.
wasting too much of my time right
Exactly.
here.
And that's how I feel, to back to the surf analogy too. That is the way, if crowd work is the surf analogy for stand up, word economy is the surf analogy for podcasting because you're not forced to be so quick like that. That's one of the things I see most in, well, I've done 200 episodes now, so I can say, I guess I'm a veteran. I've been doing it for 7 years. So you're a bit
Yeah.
ahead of me, but, that's the biggest thing I see in people who are new to podcasting is they're just so wordy, so wordy.
Podcasting's different game too, man. Like that's like,
Some people like the wordy. Yeah.
but I mean, no, I don't disagree with you there. But like 7 years in podcasting, you're still like a better podcaster than I am. You know what I mean? Like
Thanks.
it doesn't. It's different than I've talked to a lot of. And you know what? A lot of people say is podcasting really helps you with stand up though.
For sure,
Like
dude.
it just you just getting used to talking. It gets particularly with crowd work. Actually, you get used to talking to people and just having conversations.
Yeah.
And then when you're practicing crowd work, not everything's gonna hit, but like you find you spend some time, you find a line, and then you stick with it, like, and
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, this person's interesting, and
Yeah,
let's
for
keep
sure.
talking on.
Well, it's just like, it just depends because man, I imagine that like, I don't get it that often because I don't do stand up that often, but it's like you can imitate everything that you get from that crowd. Just like what we were saying with the podcasting earlier, how you're like, oh, I need my buddy. And then with stand up, you want that, you're addicted to that feeling, but you need the crowd. But if you do podcasting, you don't need the crowd. So it's a little bit schizophrenic, but you can kind of, it's all in your head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
But
quickly,
you build a crowd. You build it. You put your content out there. You build a crowd. You have
for
guests
sure.
on.
For sure. The
Yeah.
internet's a beautiful thing. So just to jump back quickly to what got you into comedy exactly, because I'm curious what that was, because I know that it takes a little bit of a push. Like you said, your friends supported you. You went and you were doing some writing already, but weren't you afraid? Like, is there ever a fear? Because you said you have kids,
I
right?
didn't have kids until after I started doing comedy, but yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
But like
Um,
I was like 29 when I started doing comedy. I didn't have kids until I was 32. I inherited two. They're my kids now. I love them. They're great. And then I had a biological one, unplanned, but it's working out. We're still at 7 years later. We're still kicking it. But
Wow.
luckily, my wife's very supportive of me doing comedy, so that helps with it. Because a lot of people get married, have kids, they're like, I don't, not because of their wife necessarily, but they get
Yeah.
too busy with other stuff. It's just one of those things where I just really feel like it's necessary in my life. But as far as getting into comedy, I guess like the process was like, like when I was like in my early 20s, I didn't even know that there were open mics in my city. And then I went to a couple of them. And I was like, oh, cool. We have comedy going on in the city. Then a couple years later, my friend actually wanted me, we wrote together and then she went up and did a set. I was like, that was awesome, dude. She had a lot of her friends there too, but she did really well. She had a good natural stage presence and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
And then like then I remember one of my other friends saying like, you should do that. I'm like, no, I can't do that. No, I'm too much of a scaredy cat. But then like a couple years later, I did it. And dude, you're so nervous the first few times you do
Oh my God.
it.
The thing is if you like having good poops, like you should be doing as much stand up as you can because you'll never have
Yeah.
a better shit in your life than right before you go up. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
so many people just drop heat in the bathroom right before.
You-
Right before, I always see it happen. And no, don't see it. I see the stall and then the fart, the poop hitting the water.
That's why
I'm
it's
like,
good to
dude,
have
I don't
a
do. That's
private
not how I
bathroom.
am though. I don't shit anywhere other than unless I'm on vacation. I have a bidet at my house, man. If I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
fucking washing my ass after shit, I don't want to shit anywhere but home. I'll fucking And
Yeah.
if I shit at work, I'm like, I don't want to do anything the rest of the day, man.
Yeah.
I just don't feel
A
with
shit
it.
takes all your energy. Does the comedy clubs you regular at, do they have like a private green room
They
bathroom?
do.
Dude,
They
there you
do, but
go.
like if you're just a fucking opener, you
Yeah.
don't want to blow it up for the headliner, man.
Yeah. True.
The headliner's probably going up there and talk about it on stage, like, "Oh, give it up for Andy, man. He just fucking blew the green room bathroom up." You know, headliners can go in there; they do whatever they want. I don't dare
Yeah.
talk about it out there. Like, give it up for this guy. He just took a big shit in the bathroom. Now he's gonna come tell jokes, probably with
Oh.
stains on his undies.
Yeah, totally. So your wife is hugely supportive of your comedy. That's pretty awesome. Does she
Yeah.
ever try to like set any boundaries where she's like, "Hey, don't talk about this," or does she ever try to micromanage what you can talk
If I
about
ever
on
have a
stage?
doubt, I'll bring it up to her, and she usually says yes. And I kind of know now. I'm like, this is something she might not say yes to,
Yeah.
but like usually she says yes. Usually what she says is, I don't think that's funny.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, can I do it? Oh, she's
Yeah.
usually like, yeah, try
Yeah.
it. She
If you don't
doesn't.
mind, I'll
She
ask
actually
you. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Finish there. Yeah.
no, no. She thinks she's funnier than me. The
Oh,
first
dude,
time
the
Dave we
girls.
went on, she was like, "You're freaking." She's like, "By the way, I'm funnier than you." I didn't talk to her for a year after that. And we
Yeah.
finally started dating.
Oh, every comedian's girlfriend thinks that they're funnier than them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
I've experienced the
right.
same thing.
She's funny, dude. Like we do a lot of riffing together, and I get a lot of bits from her, like
Yeah.
just from our
Yeah.
riffs, and like I'll fine tune them for the stage. But yeah,
I admit it too. I have a full separate list of jokes that I've written with the girl that I was with at the time. So yeah, you definitely get a lot of bits from them.
sure.
I'm curious if you don't mind. Can I ask a couple more family questions?
Yeah, dude.
How old are your kids? Like, are you curious about when they might start finding your stuff on the internet?
I think my daughter's 13. She's my
Oh,
oldest.
see, it's about to
And I
start.
think she's already seen some of my TikTok stuff
Yep.
because she has TikTok. Her mom won't let her have Instagram, but she's been on TikTok. She's like, oh, my friends and I watched one of your videos. And like, so you can see on TikTok who views them. I'm
That's
like,
the
that's
start.
fucking her friend. Looking at it, I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah,
And
dude.
then my daughter, actually, it's funny because my daughter's friend's dad, uh, looked me up on YouTube and he texted me. He's like, "Hey man, you got some really funny stuff." I'm like, "Okay, thank God, you're cool."
Dude, how often is it when you get the messages from friends where they just happen to find one of your things and they're just like they love it? Oh, that's my favorite part about it. It's so rewarding. Fucking love that. So you said you're into sports.
Yeah,
I'm a big
yeah.
sports guy myself. What kind of sports have you played throughout your life? What's your favorite now to like watch maybe, or what
My
do you get up to
favorite to
now?
watch is American football. Do they say American football in Canada, or do they say football?
They just say
Just football.
football. Yeah, yeah, just
Yeah, okay.
football.
It's football. Football by far to watch. I don't want my kid playing it though. Honestly, I don't want to get too many headheads.
Oh,
But if
because
he
of like
wants to,
headers.
what?
Oh wait, sorry, I'm getting soccer mixed up with football quickly there. Yeah, like
No,
because of
I
like
don't want him
TV and
playing. I
shit.
don't want to. Dude, I played football. I was fine. I, I didn't get a lot of playing time.
Yeah,
When I was on varsity, but I thought I should have, and I ended up quitting. But
yeah.
like,
As much as they try to change the game where they're like, oh hey, hit this way, there will always be the fucking crazy kid on the team who's just gonna be ramming heads.
it's not even that. It's just routine hits are just fucking. You
Yeah,
get
not
no
good
one's
for you.
even trying to hurt anyone. It's
Yeah,
just the nature of the game,
yeah,
and it's like I get it. I love it. I love watching it. I liked playing it a lot for most teams, but it it just I don't want my kid doing it. That's all. I
yeah,
worry. I'm I'm a different guy now. I'm a dad. I'm like I worry like crazy about my kids. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
for sure. And you don't
Probably
want.
too much, and I gotta learn not to. But but I coach his baseball team. He's playing baseball again this year.
Cool.
I like watching baseball, but I'm a Baltimore Orioles fan, and they have sucked until just a couple years ago throughout
Yeah,
my
they suck.
lifetime. But like they still suck. They're sucking this year, but I think they're going to turn around when they get the healthy guys back. There's a game going on right now, actually, but that's fine.
Oh, I'm
Can't watch
sorry.
every baseball game, bro. No, I can't watch every baseball game, dude. There's like 70 of them.
Yeah, they play
So
so many
like,
games, but I guess they got to earn that money. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, they do get paid the best,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
great.
Hey,
I almost think
real quickly,
football
you're just kind
players
of
should be
starting.
paid.
You're getting a little closer to the camera, and you're
Oh,
starting to kind
sorry.
of
I got
drift out. Yeah, there we go. Perfect,
yeah,
perfect.
there. Cool.
Yeah, dude, I love sports betting, but I find
Oh, dude.
so much trouble with, and I know it's like an addiction for some people, just like anything. Some people can handle things and some people can't.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I love sports betting, mostly on UFC. But I find it hard to
Oh,
bet on baseball because I'll watch the whole game and I'll be like, "Okay, my bet's pretty much safe. It's 5. It's 5-1. We're heading into
yeah.
the bottom of the eighth, and
It's
then
never over.
fucking three run homer, and then there
Yeah.
goes my bet. You know what I'm
It's the
saying?
one sport where the game's never over, no
Never
matter what.
over.
I mean, you can pretty much infer that it's over, but like, there was a game that lasted 37. Actually, the Rochester Red Wings were involved in it. It lasted like 30 something innings, the longest game ever in history. It
Crazy.
was, yeah, but like, what was it? I had a
We were
thought.
talking
Stop.
about sports. What sports you played growing up? You didn't want your kids to play them. Uh, do you do anything now for exercise or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm just starting to get back into it.
Yeah,
It's just when, I do like what I think of as efficient exercise.
yeah,
I did a bunch of crunches earlier and push-ups, like 20-minute workout, and I had like 20-minute workouts, and I try to walk the dog, but that doesn't always work out either. The weather's shitty here too,
yeah,
but like
yeah.
I this time I'm doing yard work, cutting I have a huge yard with thick grass
Fuck
that I
yeah, dude.
fucking
I
have to
love
cut
yard
like
work.
a weirdo.
Yard work is
Do
my
you?
is my favorite exercise probably of it all. But yeah, it doesn't take much more than just crunches and sit ups and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, yard work's great. Like, I mean, part of me likes it because I used to do landscaping. It brings me back to like
Oh.
simpler times, and like I'm like, especially running a weed whack because I did a lot of weed
Yeah,
whacking.
you're
We
probably
got
so good
nice
at
weed
it. I
whackers.
set up my yard specifically so that I do not have to weed whack. I know landscapers love fucking weed whacking.
I don't love it, but like what makes my wife happy. Everything looks good, so I'm like, if
Perfect.
I have to, I feel good after it's done. And I look at it, I'm like, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, then you bring the wife out. Hey, check out the yard. You want to sit out here for a little bit? She sits there for 10 minutes, and then just okay. Hey, you want to go inside? It's like, fuck, I
Yeah,
worked on this all day. Would you at least
right.
give me some compliments on the way that I got the corner over there? Did you see that
Yeah,
corner? It's perfect.
right.
Yeah. So cool, man. You do some exercise now. So what do you think? Where's your goal in comedy? Do you think you'll always just do it for the love of the game? You think there'll ever be a point where you'll give up and be like, God, I
I've talked about this with a lot. I don't think I'll ever give it up because I might as well do it if it's accessible to me. Especially, I have a family. I don't see us leaving where we're living anytime soon. The place to be is like New York City, or
yeah,
that's the closest one to me. I have friends down there. I go visit. I'd be down to move. My wife is down to move too, but it's just like we got a good situation here. My
You're a
needs
Richmond.
my
You're a
kids need.
Richmond north of Richmond. I don't know
What?
where's Richmond at exactly. Have you heard that? Do you know who
Richmond's in
Oliver
Virginia.
Anthony is?
Richmond, New York, or Richmond, Virginia?
I'm not sure. I was wondering which.
Richmond's in Virginia.
Have you heard that new
That's the
famous song by Oliver Anthony about Richmond north of Richmond? You heard that
no.
song? You haven't heard that song, dude.
I haven't. How's it
Oh,
called?
okay. Then my whole reference doesn't work then.
Sing it,
No, he's
dude.
like, I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay. You've never heard that song? He's playing the
Who's
guitar
Oliver?
with his
I don't
dog
know who
there.
Oliver Anthony is. I feel like maybe I'm an old man.
Okay.
One of us is an old man here because
Yeah.
like I don't know who he is,
Yeah, dude.
and one of us is an old man.
I'm the exact age you were when you started having kids. So, yeah, I guess.
Okay. Oh, so
Yeah.
I'm the old man then.
Yeah.
All
No, I
right.
thought for sure you'd know about that song because that guy's from the area over there, but I guess not. So
Richmond, I think there is a Richmond, New York, but like north of Richmond, the
yeah, where do the
Richmond
rich
everyone
people
knows
live?
is in Richmond, Virginia, and that was the
Do rich
South.
people live there? No.
I don't know, man. I feel like
Okay.
it was a lot. Yeah.
Is the Richmond is Virginia below? Never mind. I don't want to get into
No,
United
Virginia's
States.
south. Like the beginning of what's considered the southeastern U.S. It's like directly south of where
Okay,
I'm at.
so he's
Yeah,
probably in the song. Then he's probably referencing like dudes in New York. Then if he's making
maybe. Yeah.
complaining about rich dudes. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. So your boy plays baseball. Do you think he's gonna get good at it?
I think
Or
I think he's a good natural athlete. I just think like I gotta practice with him the fundamentals because he needs batting practice and he gets that at practice. But I gotta start working on him more in the backyard. Whether he likes it, he did it 2 years ago and he hated it. And
yeah,
like I think he wanted to give it another try and he likes it. He's having he's only sick. What is he? I should know he's 6.5. Okay, I was right.
yeah,
And like at this point, I always tell him like, dude, you get more out of practice than you will a game. It doesn't. We don't even care who wins the games right now because
yeah.
he's like obsessed about winning and all that. And I'm like, no, we got to chill out with that because
Well,
it carries over into weird areas. But like
Florida does, dude. I had a problem with being over competitive my whole life, but
a
at
lot,
the end
it's
of the
very
day,
common in young boys, I guess.
yeah. But the
So
thing is about sports is it's like it is a good place for them to channel it for a while so that they can kind of learn to control it a little bit. Because I mean,
sure,
because
right? You
you got
learn
to
how to
feel like a
lose.
you got to feel like a winner growing up, or like you'll start getting depressed as a teenager, and then it's like,
Yeah.
and especially now, kids nowadays they jump to the weed so quickly. It's like you want to try to keep them away from weed as long as you can, and it's like, oh yeah, no, hit the ball over here. It's important, you know.
Yeah, and it's just like I do agree. I think it's like you learn. I think it's a good lesson because, like, when you're little, no one's gonna be like. I mean, there's freak athletes, there's like little freaks that can go out and do everything. But with baseball, it's a game. You're not gonna do good with it just by being athletic. You gotta learn how to hit, how to throw, how to catch. You see a lot of like athletes throwing the first pitch out at a baseball game, and it's wild.
It's like
you know.
how are you that bad at throwing a ball? Yeah,
But it's
baseball's
like
such a
because I
weird
played
sport.
catch with my dad a lot growing up, and he taught me a lot. So like I can throw the ball, just basic stuff, and I can coach the team and teach the kids. So that's cool. But
Nice, nice. Yeah. So up there in Rochester, do you care much about like politics?
um, Canadian politics. You guys had an
No,
election recently, right?
either or is that one of the areas your wife said don't talk about that?
No, I mean, I think I mentioned to you, like I don't like to talk about it publicly with comedians. Yeah, I do care about. I definitely care about. I have my views. I try not to let it consume me ever. I mean, there's a lot of
That's the hard part. That's the hard part.
yeah.
It's like online gambling. It's hard with politics to not let it consume you, just like gambling.
That's what I mean. Like I try to like even. I used to watch. I used to be a little too like concerned about, and then, when I was overly concerned about, it, I wasn't in a good place. I don't know what caused the other, but like it was one. I was just starting to get off drugs, and I'm like, I'm gonna get really into
Yeah.
politics,
No.
and like I'm like, that's not good either, man.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be people who disagree with your shit,
Yeah.
like that
Sure.
are good people
Yeah.
otherwise,
I agree
and
with you
it's just
completely.
like,
You got to pick your lane, especially when you look at life in such a weird. I've never been addicted to drugs or anything, but I imagine you come off of that and you've got such like a hardcore view of life, and it's like, okay, what am I going to commit to here emotionally? laughing, being upset about shit like politics, or like,
Yeah.
am I going to be some intense scientist guy? You kind of like have to pick where you want to channel your emotions.
It's weird because, dude, I've like in recovery, I've just learned so much about addiction and all that shit, and how it just spills over into other areas of your life. Like over COVID, what? See, I kind of use comedy as like my recovery in a way, because like I have a community. It's just something I do that I take that I mean, not obsess about, but it's just like a more healthy. But like when COVID lockdown happened, everything got shut down.
Yeah.
I was like, I got into sports betting. Like I got it, and that was before it was legal. So I was calling a bookie and shit, and they wouldn't take bets less than $20. So I lost more money. I mean, looking back, it wasn't a ton of money, but like it was fucking. I felt myself getting out of control with it.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, it's scary. It can be scary.
And, but like this is like it's like someone like you is gonna do it different than I do, because like I do it like a fucking drug addict will do it. And like,
yeah,
you know what I
like
mean?
to keep it small so that when you lose, it doesn't ruin your whole day or whatever, your whole week.
I still put bets on like I didn't bet on the Kentucky Derby yesterday, but sometimes I'll do that, and I'll do like NFL playoffs. I'll bet on.
I have a couple times a year I'll let myself get out of control as well. Like for the Masters golf tournament, I'll
really? Yeah, golf that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was I going to ask you there? Fuck. Oh, damn it. I lost it, dude. Shit.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, that's all right. What were we just talking about?
Talking about addiction.
Drug
spills over into other areas of your life.
Yeah.
I might have cut you off, dude. I'm sorry.
Oh, COVID. Yeah, COVID, man. COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. It's all good.
Okay.
COVID was such a crazy time, man. It's like, it really showed people like how important community was. Like, I don't think anybody really expected how much effect it was going to have, like telling people that they can't go out. And it just ended up having such an effect on like kids and suicide and all kinds of crazy
shit.
Right.
Well, they did. And you know what? They kept certain populations safer by doing it. They weren't ready for it. At least America wasn't. But like, then you had like mental health just deteriorating in people, because it is important to go out, not just have like online, to have connections in person and just be around people. There's something about it. And
I guess it would cause a boom in your industry though. Hey, then so you want more COVIDs.
For what?
Because then you'd have mental health crisis, and then you'd have more people in your industry.
Oh,
more work for you. Sorry.
If it were like run like a fucking business.
It's not. Yeah, you guys don't
putting COVID out into the community. Yeah.
Let's get more Wuhan.
Like, how are we gonna refine COVID to make more people sick?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's funny, man. Holy shit. Yeah, I had lots of issues with that. I don't know, but we just had an election in Canada. I don't know what else is going on. Pope Francis died. Are you very religious?
I was born Catholic. I'm Irish Italian, so my grandmas were 100% Irish, 100% Italian. So they were both very like go to church every day.
There you go.
Especially on my mother's side, very much. But like, no, I'm not. I'm like an agnostic, I guess you could say. I'm not like all like, oh, God isn't real, man. But I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone could be right. No one could be right. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but like, the Pope died. I thought he was a decent guy. He seemed like a good guy.
He
honestly,
was.
Just other than Pope aside. So.
Yeah. First Pope to say that being gay was okay. So.
Right.
You were in college.
It seems like it should have happened a while back. But like, what? He's like, let's not hear me out here. Let's not brutally murder gay people. And some people were like, boo.
Did you see, dude, this one is one thing that I'm glad this came across my mind here. Did you happen to see the funeral at all?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God. It was very weird. I have to say, it's like you maybe can kind of see where the KKK like got their style from. They hijacked.
Oh shit!
In the weirdest outfits.
Yeah, like the Cardinals or whatever. I don't know.
They had like big spiky black hats, kind of that look just like the.
Oh, dude, that's weird as fuck.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we can't make them white anymore. Let's make them black, and it's like,
okay. That one's off the table, guys. It's like, how about we make them black? He's like, bingo, we got
good. Put on the KKK outfits, paint them black.
Right.
Yeah. Man, that's about all I got for you for current events and stuff. What do you think about, dude? I thought because Canadian government always kind of follows American government. I'll just say a couple things. You don't have to comment.
Yeah.
Um, I was surprised to see, and maybe it's just because Trump is so, I guess, polarizing or whatever, or he put those tariffs on so quickly. But I thought for sure Pierre Poilievre was going to win here in Canada, and then uh,
Yeah.
and then the Liberals won again this year. It was shocking.
Yeah, that's probably why. I mean, obviously, I imagine, I know like Saskatchewan, Alberta, they're more conservative, right? And then,
Yeah,
but he's really putting the clamps on you guys.
no doubt.
Like, you,
I wonder if like Saskatchewan, Alberta are going to join the U.S. or I wonder if
oh,
Trump
really?
is gonna go and take Greenland. I talked about it with my buddies a lot, and honestly, man, there is like 20 people there. I think it would be a much better, just purely speaking, pragmatically. Like we're not talking about okay, Denmark owns it. For starters, why does Denmark own it? What the fuck? But like if America owned it, I feel like they could much better utilize the area. No, if they can just come to an agreement where Denmark's not pissed, I think it would be a good thing.
I just don't trust. I just don't trust that it will be utilized for good. I guess that's
Yeah. Well, it'll help
it's
protect
there. It's
Canada.
there. I don't know what they got,
I mean,
but I,
I like that you guys have Alaska because then you can protect us over there from Russia. But so it's like it would be great.
okay. I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
because that's not
strategically,
educated.
you
Yeah.
got to think
Okay.
strategically here. Like war is a
Right.
country. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, thanks so much for coming on the show today. I don't have too much more, topical stuff for you. I don't know if you have anything you want to bring up or chat about. Again, guys, if you want to go find his shows, you can probably find him at the Funny Bone. You probably find shows on there. Again, at andykuhncomedy.com. Your shows are probably on there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I got nothing coming up, honestly. Like
Okay,
nothing coming up in the near future. But
more podcasts.
stay tuned, guys. I
Yeah,
don't have a mailing list or anything, but just go there every day.
go there.
AndyCoonComedy.com. Check it
Yeah,
out.
guys, please go there. Check that out. Get on his mailing list if he ever starts one. And yeah, man, it was great talking to you today.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for having me on. It was a great time.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah. This is a podcast. We just did it, so it's that easy. That's an hour.
Yeah, time flies, dude, when you're having good conversations. All right.
For sure, for sure. Okay,
All right.
everybody, that's Canadian Talk, episode 120 out. All right, dude.
Yo,
There you
thanks
go.
a lot, dude. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
You did a great job. You're a great interview guy. Like
thank you. Yeah, I'm an interview guy.
podcasting. No, podcast. I might feel like I'm
No,
just
no.
saying, like, as a podcaster, like, there's just like you have guests on, you ask them questions. It's like kind of like an interview, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure.
Okay, cool.
I
All
wasn't I
right.
wasn't mad at the name you called me. I appreciate it. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you. I had a great time today. Yeah.